Okay, all right. I think we are live. Hey there. So I hope that you are enjoying your day, night, evening, whatever it is that you're currently experiencing right now as you and I are together. I'm genuinely happy to be here with you. Thank you for joining me. I am very grateful to be here on this very just fulfilling, or just refreshing, I think. A lot of things, deeply reflective time. It's a full moon right now. And so I'm definitely in a state of just rest and reception. And I'm also watching the movie Matilda. I'm watching Matilda for the very first time right now. I've never watched the entire full movie before, ever. I know of the movie, I know of the premise of the movie, but I've never watched the entire movie before. And I just thought, why not? So I'm actually already at least 30 minutes into it, and it's really good. It's also kind of triggering, to be honest, but it's very, very good. And I think that's a really good thing also to even have some of the emotional reactions to this movie, even when it was made. It's a very special time. And I think that Danny DeVito did a really great job in his interpretation of just at least the visual depiction of this, at least from my awareness of the story. Though I do plan also on reading the book myself because I do want to. And I love to read, and why not? I appreciate literature and stories and whatnot. And so, anywho, and all the learning from that. So that's actually why I wanted to turn on um, our time together. I just wanted to be present with you while I honestly just kind of review parts of the movie. And so I wanted to share some of my thoughts while I'm literally watching it. And so I know that visually you can't see it, but my hope is that honestly, if you want to, wherever you are, it'd be cool. You know what I'm saying? If you want to, it's up to you. Feel free to join me. I would love for you to. Feel free to find the movie however you'd like to. Okay, you go ahead and you get to that movie, and whenever you get to the movie, I'm starting from 31:32 as the timestamp. So, yeah, just please feel free to also, yeah, just check in with the yeah with the time. I'm gonna say the timestamp as I'm going along as I play the movie, because what I'm gonna probably have to do is just you know what's the word? Mute the mic while I'm watching it. So I'm gonna do it that way. And also I might shorten this into like an uploaded thing so that way it can I'll cut out the silence in the middle of it. But you'll always hear my voice popping in and out. So basically, I wanted to just say what my thoughts were in the beginning part of this movie as I'm watching it. And so yeah, my immediate beginning thoughts is this movie's really, really good. I really like this a lot. I think this is so important. I think that I'm gonna always give my personal esoteric. It's not esoteric, child. I'm just gonna give my subtextual meaning, like context that I recognize within the film, the symbolism within the film, and this the levels of I guess aspects of philosophy and like uh I don't know, just consciousness. I guess it's just simply being a remembered being. I'm not a really like uh I don't know what the word is. I'm not a theoretical person. I don't like to talk philosophy and just yap about those things. I like to just live in the full living prayer of life itself and be aware of that full 360, but way beyond even that. And so, yeah, that's just how I feel. And so just being able to just give my general commentary with my awareness and share that with you. So, yeah, I'm so excited to do that. This movie's so good because I say this all to say that I do believe this film speaks to the wave of many of us as volunteers that has started from centuries ago, hundreds of years ago. This like constant waves of us as humans that are born into environments entirely that are just simply not conducive for where our consciousness can go, for what our capacity of love, of what it's possible to even do, right? Because that's what really all this is. Love is a comprehensive thing, which also includes intelligence, and social intelligence is a type of like it's so incredible. It speaks to a greater like the weaving of creation itself, or just like to be able to yeah, to weave creation itself and to weave stories. And so I just think of this because Matilda, so far from what I know of the film, again, I haven't fully watched it before, but I know of the premise and I've watched little scenes, of course. Um, like the cake scene and like even swinging the girl. And I just saw that. Again, I'm still at 31, 32 right now, in case you're wondering. And I will tell you when I press play. But yeah, the film itself speaks to me for the waves of us who are highly energetically sensitive and psychically inclined and just basically aware and available and just having the willingness to realign ourselves with source itself. Everything within creation, within nature, is in alignment and it's in balance, right? We play these games of polarity. So this really sadistic like hatred of children that Miss Trunchbull has versus like Miss Honey, because that's what I'm literally looking at right now in the freeze frame of what I'm looking at. And I'm literally seeing Miss Honey. The fact that she even Miss Trunchbull even has the pictures of the children to throw darts at them is crazy because I'm just like, what? Like, of course, this movie is it's all comedic, you know, fan like it's meant to push uh it's meant to be campy while also telling a really important and very necessary story, especially for little children to know, which is that you are always a beautiful and precious thing, even when you're not treated as so, and even when people don't know that yet. And let me tell you something, especially as that's not even just the only thing that the movie says. Distinctly, what the movie says is that you are a precious thing, and you're not the only precious person around you, and that there are other precious people who know what a precious thing is and they appreciate you and respect you, and there's safety in that, and that we are all meant to be safe and that we are safe. Matilda was never by herself. So far from what I'm seeing in the first 30 minutes and then going on into the rest of the film, what I see is that though the majority of the parents, the parents of the elders, which are meant to be a parental figure, no matter what, to all children, we are parental figures to all children, whether you have children or not. Whether you have children or not, you are a parental influence anyway. We are to respect this as just being adults and knowing that every single adolescent is looking at you and is in some way, you know, needing or looking or what's the word? You're influencing them and just at least having a level of care or consideration about that. We're not meant to be perfect and flawless. That's surely not the answer. We're meant to have integrity. And Miss Honey speaks to that, right? Of just she's not a she's not a pushover from what I've noticed. As a teacher, she to me she just, you know, this shout out to the actress, shout out to all the actors in this amazing film. Shout out to all of you. You're amazing. Of course. I'm oversimplifying this, but I also I'm just kind of giving my commentary and going. I Miss Honey embodies just a natural humaneness, a natural compassion that teachers, again, any person who deals with service and being of service in any service profession, that's nurses, that's firefighters, that's teachers, that's your doctors, that's your secretaries even, you know? Anyone who's really front facing that you're really having to talk to one to one, especially to get your needs met, but especially children. There's a very vulnerable population on top of all of that. So that's why I said, especially like in the medical field and education and many other fields too, I would argue in food, like it's very vulnerable. You're feeding populations. You, you need to, I would hope that you care and that you're not, anyway, it's not enough just to be a cook. You have to have integrity in your field and be a humane person because at the end of the day, you're serving people. And I'm saying this to say that Miss Honey, she is not a pushover and she does not embody an empath, um, at least from what I'm noticing, at least with these kids. Okay. Because it's, I'm not even going to get into that about like the dark triadism, obviously, of Miss Trunchbull. Basically, by dark triadism, I just simply speak to she is a Miss Trunchbull is a person that is hurt, and she absolutely 100% projects her pain and suffering that she's feeling on the inside onto other people. I haven't even watched the end of the movie, and I already know that. There's no way you're so sadistic to children, to any vulnerable population, but especially as an example, children. There's no way you're doing any of this and you're not suffering inside. So, any person who tortures another person is already tortured. So that's why when you're working in these professions like in education, you're working with children. And mind you, even in so education period is a humane service, right? The right to knowledge and all this other stuff, especially in this place of safety, emotionally, physically, and all these other things, socially, intellectually, all these other things, spiritually, all these other things. Um, that also means no matter what the age is, right? So I'm very passionate about education. I really love just the concept that we even do this, that we pass on wisdom and just the art and the technique of that. I really respect that, and the history of that, and the future of that. The present of that is really frightening right now. The future of that looks really bright. The history looks really silly right now, and that's just what that is to me. But anywho, I say that to say, educators who when we value humanity, it doesn't matter what the age of the person is. So the level of humanity that you have to have and when you and how you're servicing a person, especially with something so vulnerable as their mind, it's really, really delicate and special. And I think that Miss Honey embodies again, this is just a general thing again, because I know that even though I haven't fully watched the rest of the movie, I know that in general people talk a lot about her essence in pop culture and what she means. And I'm just like, yeah, oh yeah. She embodies the regulated nervous system that a lot of people who have endured a lot of trauma would like to embody. But I think that Matilda embodies the bravery that also comes with all of this work that we're doing. That's the point. I think that there's another wave of empathic people who are brave, and that's the point. Is we cannot sit back and watch people who need our help try to cause suffering onto us because they're suffering inside. Come on now, it's right there. It's it right there. The answers be right there. It's self accountability all across the board until it's planetary. Until it's planetary, because we're all one big family. We're all related, and we're all gonna have to do it together. That is the answer. I said that to say now, Matilda, in this movie, in the timeliness of the movie, this movie was made 30 years ago, child. And I want us to get to a point where we're able to see more Mr. and Mrs. and mixed honey people who just love themselves and love others be able to flourish in our world. And that's what really matters to me because the first 30 minutes of the movie, I said it was triggering. And I say that only because I totally recognize, especially for children who are of a particular type of um, I'm gonna say etheric intelligence, remembrance of God itself, period. When you remember the essence of God, it is natural to think, why aren't we doing more godly things in real life? And as a young child, I thought these things very early because it's as natural as nature is. It is as natural as rain comes in and the sun be up, and then we just expect that to happen and we don't question it. So I don't question love and I don't question the functionality of love. I question when we don't do it. I really do. I only question when we don't. And I really question why we really validate any time or any creation of life without that. And I do think Matilda and her ability to honestly be a parentified person so early, despite the neglect of her elders all around her, because it's not just her parents. It's easy, especially when we're looking at the movies. I'll speak again only for the first 30 minutes that I know that I've watched so far of her parents, but also of all the adults that I saw, at least based off of the way that it was depicted in the film and not based off of what I know from the book. In the film, none of the adults really stopped Matilda and was like, "Hey, where are your parents? Why are you walking on the crosswalker without anybody? Why are you walking back and forth for years until you're 6?" So from probably 2 to 6 for 4 years, everyone in the community saw a little girl and no one stopped based off what we know enough to be like, "Hey." Only really the librarian who then cuz she's sitting there and she's interacting with this little girl because everyone's just going about their business. And as per usual, and then anyway. Um basically the librarian being able to say, "Hey, you know what? At least you have this library card," giving her an opportunity, again, access to better adults through books, better, wiser minds. Because again, she was gray rocking the entire time. Matilda's been gray rocking. I'm seeing it in real time. She ain't got to go to no therapist or no, pay for better help. Had to laugh at that. Anywho, she didn't have to pay for microwave therapy or any of these things. For Uber Eats, for Uber uh therapy, you know. She didn't have to pay for that. She was thankfully able to use her internal knowing of her own value, even when her parents didn't have it for her. And these are basic things that kids today in 2026 have today. Children have this exact same mentality as Matilda 30 years ago today. There are children having to do what Matilda is doing in this film today. That should never even be the case. That should halt the entire world, in my opinion. That should halt the world because there's a lot of adults right now who are angry because they had to do the exact same thing that Matilda was doing. And I don't know how we haven't stopped when we realize that turns out this is all complete falsehood in the first place. But we won't get there. And so I'm saying this to say that Matilda's parentification saved her because it was her intrinsic integrity that she already had despite the gaps. And that's the point, is that when we have something like a capacity, sometimes crisis and tragedy and just effed up things is what can activate that if you so choose it, right? Because her brother exactly grew up in the exact same environment, the exact same. But again, energetically, he's just responding a little differently so far based off what I'm seeing. Because again, I don't know if he's made a change. Um, I don't know. Um, so there's that. But yeah, I just wanted to share this because um, Matilda having to reinforce, hey, I want to go to school. Hey, because her parents only wanted to invest in her to their um comfort, basically. And a lot of parents do that in 2026 and in the past, and we pray not in the future. Because when we love our children from our comfort, we end up having to return back here and then have to live our children's lives. And I don't think any of us want to really have to do that because a lot of us are having to live lives that we didn't want to have to live, right? Or to some extent, like certain pains and suffering and stuff like that, right? And so, do you really want to come back here and do that? Probably not. We should probably answer it, you know? I'm saying this to say that Matilda and her brother speak to two different types of choices that we make in the face of, well, here's the thing. One child recognizes that their needs are not being met, and the other one doesn't feel that way. That is two different energetic things. So I guess that's really what all this is about. Actually, I'm not even going to bring up her brother as much because mainly it is actually when you yourself are here to do something that is off the beaten path of what you started with, no matter what your origin is. Because again, something I actually pointed out to my to one of my siblings, was so grateful to even have them. Basically, I was saying that, one of the things I really appreciate about this movie, at least the visual depiction, is that Matilda is not poor. Please know that. She's not financially poor. Note that her negligence of her life and what's going on is not based off of poverty. It's based off of a lack of character. Period. You don't got to be a spiritually whatever person. You just have to actually have character, which is a spiritual thing. It's all there. It's all one and the same. And I do think that um yeah, it's just so fascinating because the timing of the movie when it came out, I was just looking up something on the Wikipedia page at the time. Again, that can be updated at any time, of course, but based off what it said at the time, one of the like in the reception part of the movie, like, oh, like how was it received and whatnot, it was said that this film, its budget was like 36 million and then it grossed 47 million, so it was seen as like, it did overall well in pop culture for sure, even in the year that it came out. But it's just that because in the theaters and profit, it was seen as like not as successful in the box office. But when it went to home video, that's when it became more successful. Okay. And then on top of that, we know, especially there's a lot of people, and this is a multi-generational appreciation for the movie Matilda. It's not just millennials and so on, Gen Z and whatnot. Everyone, anyone who, if you appreciate good storyline and you can win whatever, it's right there. So I just say that to say that it was distinctly noted that the film was good for many reasons. One of them being, it was in one of the reviews, Miss Trunchbull is so quirkily funny in her evil, because she is mean and she is terrible. She's frightening, even to adults. Even to adults. But that's what any cranky person looks like. A person that's in a state of emotional, internal, inner suffering, they look extremely what they feel. And so that's actually why sometimes until you reflect their suffering back to them, they won't know what they look like. And it's really important to know this. I think this is a really good time to talk about this, especially with this Scorpio full moon. Or if you see this as a Libra full moon, okay, we're gonna have two different. We're having a interconnected conversation. It's all there, but especially full moon in Libra or Scorpio both speak to what? If you know astrology, let's do a little fun pop quiz. What is it that Libra and Scorpio have in common? They both value relationships. Relationships are really important to them. Ding, 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 ding. We all got it. We all got it. Oh, well, I hope maybe we're in that region. Hopefully we're in that range. You know what I'm saying? That and intimacy. Ooh. Come on now. Let's keep going. Uh, Fairness. Equality, justice. Scorpios care about justice. Libras care about justice. Scorpios care about fairness. Libras care about fairness. Scorpios care about actual true like relationship. Like, do you actually understand who the heck I am? Like, do you even know me, or are you just around me? Because Matilda's parents are just around her. They don't know her. They don't understand who she is. Libra is like, hey, I'm making myself available to you. Because also Matilda has some Libran energy. She is not just, you know, screaming and yelling and going off and going crazy or whatever, or just, being, evil, or even her own form of like I don't even know. She's not being um aggressive with her parents, though they're being aggressive with her. Okay? So she's responding in a Libran way. Very fair. Mind you, let's point something out. One more thing, and I'm going to get into the rest of the film. But this is the point of the commentary. This is the entire point. This Libras, when they're in a healthy, the healthy essence of Libra, because I'm not talking about this like from a, oh, Libra sun sign and like, I don't, that's not how I talk about astrology person. I talk about these as principles of creation itself. This is how we as infinite consciousness are at least using the astrology that we know so far, based off the systems that we know so far, that we use so far. We're using all of this information to understand the greater infinite that is. So I don't see this as just something as simple as Libra is like a sun sign thing and what season you were born in. But you can absolutely apply that. And also, if you have a lot of Libra energy in your chart, which also includes degrees, not just house, so house and sign, but also even look at the degrees. You'd be surprised about how the degrees influence how you energetically experience a planet. But anywho, I say that to say Libras in a healthy energy with a healthy energy are about fairness, and they are not pushovers. Libras are not pushovers. Not so sorry. Some energy, some of the expression of what a Libra can express, or all of us have Libran energy. All of us have Libran energy somewhere in our charts. That means that we somewhere in our lives express this energy somewhere. And so, as an example, really caring about fairness and am I actually getting reciprocally what I'm putting out? Because that matters. It matters. Otherwise, symmetry literally is consistent in nature. If we don't have it, things would be topsy-turvy. So responding in neutrality to someone's aggression is a Libran thing. Responding neutrally to polarity is a Libran thing. It's debilitating. It debilitates fighting. Libran energy doesn't make space for that. Libran energy is actually very exclusive. Venetian energy in and of itself is very exclusive. It's the part of us in our own psyches where we care about value and care about how we're being treated. I care about my value. I care about how you're talking to me. I care about how you're treating me. I care about you not respecting me. You not reciprocally giving me the same energy that I'm giving you. It's one thing if I was mean, crusty, and dusty to you. Oh, girl, that's one thing. That would make logical sense. That's a whole different thing. Libras are about logic too. beauty, harmony, and all that. Logic as well. Has to make sense. Has to make sense. But if it's not also with like a level of you have to just balance it out. The emotions in the mind. You have to. That's a Libran thing as well. Depending again, it also depends on other planetary things are like people totally embodying that energy and to what degree can they really embody that? And all this other stuff. So it's yeah, like Saturn does really well in Libra. People wouldn't expect that, but it's actually an exaltation. It's essence. Imagine someone so seasoned and wise and responsible, integral, and just I'm so great, delicious, mwah. And they care about fairness. Hey, baby, what you want? What do you want? Because I care about you. It's reciprocal energy. Not only do I have integrity, what Saturn? Oh, but then I also got that what? I got that equality for you. Oh my God, that reciprocity for you. Oh, that's different. That's different. That's different with a Venetian twist. That's different. So that's what I'm saying. Um, anywho, and so you know what's really crazy? Saturn and Taurus actually goes through a bit of struggle. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to, but it can. It can, which is so interesting. It maybe it's the earthiness of Saturn balances out the airiness of Libra, and that's why it's an exaltation. Um, but yeah, it's so interesting how Saturn and Taurus is not necessarily the exact same energy because of the Venus part. Because Saturn and Venus, they like each other. They go together. Venus is like, Saturn, and Saturn's like, ooh, Venus. Or whatever. So yeah. But I think I don't know. I think maybe Saturn's a little too slow for Taurus. And Tauruses are slow. They be slow moving, baby. But they do it well. Anyway, they're wonderful. Anywho, I love all signs, but that's just typical. Anywho, anyway, I love you so much and I love that we're even having this conversation. I love talking about all of these types of things with you. This is the kind of shenanigans I'm into if you're into this kind of stuff. So this and many other things. I'm not always thinking about things necessarily like this, but it's always, of course, it's always there. It's like once you learn, when you learned how to walk, did you stop learning how to walk? Right. How can I not remember that I'm actually a part of God itself? Right. So there you go. But that's literally that ties back into the full moon and Scorpio and Libra thing. So that also includes spiritually speaking, energetically speaking, you have to be energetically sovereign because this movie is not just about a smart little girl. This is about a girl with spiritual powers. We all have spiritual power and influence. We all do. Does it necessarily become, telekinesis, all that? It could, but maybe for you it's something else. We all have something that's special about us that we're supposed to be using to help whatever environment we're in right now. You're a plant located where you're supposed to be. What are you providing to the environment? What are we doing? And that's every single last one of us. Every single last one of us. And so, yeah, these are the things like this movie is so fabulous. It's so wonderful to watch. Again, I'm at 31:32 as a timestamp and I'm about to press play and watch the rest, of it, and then I'm gonna pause it, and then I'm gonna, unmute myself, and we can go ahead and chat and do our thing. But I just want to share this with you because I think that it is so important to recognize that empaths are not meant to just sit on their hands. That's never the case. The entire point why we're all here is because we're all meant to have influence. That has always been the case. So, because we're in a cycle, things are going to rotate. That's always been the case. You have to be prepared. And most importantly, do you even want to? Because if you want to and you're here and that's why you're here, then we're going to have to. And that just is whatever that is for you. Is you have to stand up to your Miss Trunchbull, whatever that is for you. And when we do that, we'll all understand each other as Miss Honey and why the Mr. Mix, Miss every type of you could be a jam. You could be a whole freaking different type of preservative. You could be whatever you want. You could be a syrup, bro. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You could be anything you want to be. You could be a whole fruit cup, bro. I do not care. You could be whatever you are. I just want you there at the function of love, okay? I want you at the function of love because it's functional and it loves you back. And that's it. I love you. And I'm so grateful to be doing this with you. I love you so much. I think this is so important. This is my last thing. Girl, this is why I turn it on. This is the whole thing why we turn it on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna keep doing our thing. I'm gonna turn it on because I love you. I'm gonna turn this faucet on. It's a faucet of love. This is the point. I want to pour love into you because there are some of us, there are some of you right now who are a Matilda. No matter what your gender is, no matter how you identify, no matter how old you are, no matter how long you've lived your life, you might identify as a Matilda to some degree. And I want you to know right now that I love you. I love you. And I care about you. And I see you. And I give a damn. I give a damn about you. I give a damn. I care about you and that you being alive, living well, living a proper quality of life with someone who understands and knows you. You have the right to be understood and to feel safe and to be protected and to be cared about, to be wanted, to be needed, to be expected, and to be accounted for. You are meant to be here. You belong here and you matter. And I love you. I love you so much. I really do. I love you. I don't need to know your face or the sound that is the beautiful expression that we know as your name. I know you by energy. If you meet me genuinely in the literal infiniteness of God itself, that is love. It really is. It's a united oneness. And we experience it when we return back as love. It's a oneness, though. We are one. And I care about you. And I want you to know that. You are loved, you are seen, and you matter. You are needed, you are wanted. We need you. And we want you here. You matter. And what's inside of you, your gifts, your talents, your essence is wanted and needed. You are medicine. You are medicine. You are healing me right now. The goodness in you, it is yours. It's ours. It's what we actually are. All of these things, our ego, it leaves and stays here. It dissolves and it becomes something else. It's just energy. You and I, we are eternal. You are infinite. You are also responsible. You are responsible for what you do and how you treat people. You're responsible for how you treat yourself and other people. You're responsible for how you treat life, period. All life. We are all responsible for each other. We are all a part of each other's lives, intrinsically. The fact that we're all even here, we all live in the same house. That is so, it is beautiful and it matters. As a globe, as an entire realm, we all live here. We all come in and work here, okay? And we do our work. It matters how we treat each other. And you matter. And how you treat me matters. How you talk to me matters. How you regard me matters. How you disregard me matters. How you treat me matters. How we do and do not consider each other matters. You and I both matter. It matters how we talk to each other and how we treat each other and how we regard each other. How and that word regard really, 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 I think is a really important word. A word that we don't, again, really consider. We kind of disregard it itself. And the thing is that to regard something is actually to guard it in and of itself. It is to guard a thing. It's to protect a thing. So when we say that we regard someone, we say that we value them. It is something it is worth guarding. It's worth protecting, something worth caring for. When we say we don't regard someone, we say we don't care for them, we don't value them. We are willing to let that thing perish. If we say that, be careful, because you're actually saying that to a section of yourself. It doesn't matter if you don't think you are. Your leg drops in the hole that you let that man's body fall in. Please know that. When you kill someone, you chop off your own leg. You chop off whatever body part. You chopped off something of yourself. When you kill someone with your energy, you're killing a part of yourself. You're going to have to pay for that. That's how it works. That's what's going on right now. There's nothing we can do to stop that. We're not here to stop that. That's not the point or the goal. I'm talking about energetic reciprocity is inevitable because it's a part of the oneness. Hence why, again, the feeling of like reciprocity, of energetic reciprocity, that's one of the very first things within the first 30 minutes of this film that was taught spiritually, is the importance of energetic reciprocity. We absolutely receive what we sow. You will never escape, ever. Why would you want to? Especially if you threw it. Why would you want to? It doesn't make any sense. If it's your boomerang, well, that's the point. We have to understand the full cycle nature of what we do. Because in Matilda, it didn't work out for Miss Trunchbull. I didn't have to watch the rest of the movie to know that. The story went down so largely that other people told me about it. So much so that I had to watch the story for myself. So much so that I'm going to read the book for myself too. There's a lot of things that we are to learn, period. And wisdom seeks itself. When you are a wise person, you seek yourself. You're going to find yourself everywhere. I suggest you do self-seeking if you haven't. And if you are self-seeking, please know that you will find yourself in other people that you meet. Please be kind to them because you're speaking to yourself. We have to be careful the way we speak to each other. We cannot be so flippant, disrespectful, and rude. It's never made sense. Ever. Ever. Shout out to the essence of Libra and Scorpio. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous intersection of reciprocity energetically. When Libras and Scorpio, when we embody this healthy energy of this essence, of this principle, you do energetic reciprocity to the point where you transform people into their higher selves. Because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what all energy does anyway. We're all helping each other grow. So this is why it matters, again, how we treat each other. It always matters. It always matters. And you're the one who teaches yourself. Please know that. No one is a greater teacher than you back to yourself, and everyone's going to reflect you back to yourself. And it is your job to reflect whatever's going on with the person back to themselves. And distinctly, all of this comes from a place of integrity and character. Never pettiness. Pettiness is reciprocated. So it's never that. Integrity for integrity, character for character, love for love. It's simple. That's it. It's very, 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 very simple. Train your ego, remove it if you can, and you will see very clearly. And that's it. I think that this movie is so good, just in general, because again, it speaks to a lot of things. It's not just a movie about some little girl who likes to read and her parents are stupid. And then, she has a great teacher who sees her brilliance. And then her and her teacher are just so similar that they hang out. And then one day she's like, hey, I like want to like, live with you one day. And oh my God, this is just so cool. This is not just about a little student who fell in love with her teacher. This is about karmic retribution. No one who was disrespectful to Matilda survived. Did they? As far as I know, they did not. So we have to be careful as we can be Matilda, Miss Honey, Matilda's parents, or Miss Trunchbull. We can also be who? Lavender. I'll stop it there. We could be Lavender. Let's be Lavender, baby. Let's also be Lavender because she too was her own type. She was her own Matilda herself. Come on now. Come on now. I can't wait till we get to a little subsection where we get to do that with Lavender too. Anywho, I love you so much. Let me go ahead and pause it here. All right, love you.